When we talk about power couples, it's easy to focus on the fame of the husbands, but what about the women who stand beside them and shine just as brightly? These are not your average wives. These women grace the spotlight like it's their birthright. Today, we'll uncover 12 black women who are living proof that being a wife doesn't mean standing in the shadows. Let's start with a powerhouse, the First Lady of the Nation of Islam. Number 12, Khadija Farrakhan. Khadija Farrakhan is a woman of extraordinary grace, quiet strength, and enduring influence within the Nation of Islam. As the wife of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, she has stood at the helm of the movement's evolution for more than 6 decades, not as a figurehead, but as a steady, guiding presence.
They say behind every great man there's a woman alive.
Her commitment to faith, family, and community has made her a revered symbol of womanhood, leadership, and unwavering devotion. Born Betsy Ross in the mid-1930s and later taking the name Khadija after the Prophet Muhammad's beloved wife, she embraced the Nation of Islam in the 1950s alongside her husband. Over the years, she has been the architect of many behind-the-scenes efforts. She has provided organizational leadership and nurtured the spiritual development of Muslim women through her stewardship of the MGT and GCCA, mother of 9 children, including Mustafa Farrakhan. The nation's current supreme captain, Khadija's influence extends across generations of Muslim leadership and family life. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 99% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. Thank you so much. Now back to the video. In 1977, as the Nation of Islam was being rebuilt, Khadija Farrakhan became its first treasurer and secretary, transforming their Chicago home into a hub for early organizational efforts. She also edited the inaugural issues of the Final Call newspaper and founded Newell Apparel, which produces the official uniforms for Muslim women in the nation. Khadija Farrakhan has accompanied Minister Farrakhan on global missions from Africa to the Middle East and beyond. She always embodies the poise and dignity that mirrors the moral clarity of her mission. Known for her deep modesty and philanthropic nature, she remains largely out of the limelight, yet her impact is profound, felt in every home where women are taught to be builders of nations. Number 11, Gabrielle Union. Gabrielle Union moves through life with a kind of grace that's both magnetic and defiant. She's not just a Hollywood name. She's mastered the balance of spotlight and substance. From Bring It On to Being Mary Jane, Gabrielle's glow hits different off camera.
Thank you. Thank you.
Her wit, candor, and unapologetic black womanhood have made her a cultural touchstone. Married to NBA legend Dwyane Wade, Gabrielle is part of one of the most dynamic celebrity households out there. She's not just his wife, she's his equal, his co-architect in building a life centered on love, authenticity, and generational healing. With her bonus kids and their daughter Kavya, aka Shady Baby, with the internet's best side-eye, Gabrielle doesn't just embrace motherhood, she reinvents it with humor, honesty, and a fierce sense of purpose. Together, she and Wade are raising free black children who know their worth. But don't let the glam fool you. Gabrielle's strength is forged in fire. A survivor of sexual assault, she's turned pain into purpose, fighting publicly for women's rights, racial justice, and LGBTQ+ youth. She and Wade, who have been outspoken about supporting their daughter Zaya's gender identity, received the NAACP President's Award for their advocacy and courage. She's also about that business. Gabrielle's investments are as intentional as her Instagram captions. From clean beauty and healthy snacks to co-owning the LA-based women's soccer team, Angel City FC. Her brand isn't just beauty, it's impact. She doesn't chase the moment. She is the moment, and she brings others with her. Number 10, Cheryl Lee Ralph. While Cheryl Lee's Emmy-winning role in Abbott Elementary made headlines, her real magic unfolds off-camera, where she reigns as a matriarch, a mentor, and a movement all her own. Married to Pennsylvania Senator Vincent Hughes since 2005, Cheryl is among the most famous black wives. She's the mother of 2 children from her previous marriage to French businessman Eric Maurice, Etienne and Ivy Victoria. Both children grew up in a household that valued black excellence, culture, and discipline. Beyond the screen, Cheryl is a philanthropic force. Her long-running Divas Simply Singing is not just any random show. It's one of the longest-running fundraisers for HIV/AIDS awareness in the U.S. Just like with the show, Cheryl uses her platform to push boundaries, whether performing the Black National Anthem at the Super Bowl or mentoring underrepresented youth. When it comes to her style, she has a refined taste, favoring vibrant Jamaican-inspired fashion, understated luxury, and a love for cultural preservation. Her fashion sense is no surprise, as her late mom is an iconic Jamaican designer. Cheryl doesn't flaunt her wealth, though.
She was 1 year old. It's true. And she was singing Move.
She radiates it in the form of tailored gowns, art-filled living spaces, and curated causes she backs with her voice and wallet. Decorated with Jamaica's Order of Distinction and Rutgers honorary doctorate, Cheryl's not chasing relevance. She is relevant and rooted in purpose, family, and legacy. Number 9. Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala is a name that commands respect across the globe. A powerhouse of intellect and diplomacy, she made history in 2021 as the first woman and first African to serve as the Director General of the World Trade Organization. Her story is one of resilience, revolutionizing economies and dismantling barriers for the next generation of leaders. A trained economist with over 40 years of experience, Dr. Okonjo-Iweala's career milestones span the world. Let's begin with the World Bank, where she rose to the role of managing director. She has also done 2 terms as Nigeria's finance minister, where she spearheaded major reforms that transformed the country's economy. Her negotiations led to Nigeria's $30 billion debt relief and the strengthening of institutions against corruption. But her influence goes beyond finance.
We need new agricultural technologies built to local conditions.
She's a global champion for education, women's empowerment, and climate action. As chair of Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance, and a UN Special Envoy during the COVID-19 pandemic, Dr. Okonjo-Iweala has been a crucial voice in global health initiatives. Recognized as one of the world's most powerful women, she's a pacey setter who's shattered glass ceilings in the realms of economics, policy, and international development. Her many honors include the Global Leadership Award, a seat on prestigious boards, and numerous honorary degrees. Ngozi is married to Ikemba Iweala, her longtime sweetheart. They share 4 children, and their marriage remains one to envy, as she remains an inspiration both in marriage and in the economic world. Number 8. Gayle King. Gayle King has always known how to rise early, boldly, and now, quite literally. The longtime CBS Mornings co-anchor is heading to space on April 14, 2025, as part of Blue Origin's first all-female crew. Alongside Katy Perry and Lauren Sanchez, King will soar 65 miles above Earth, becoming one of the first journalists to reach space. Her mood? Terry-sighted, terrified, and excited. A fitting phrase for someone who's always embraced big leaps. But before the launch pad, there was the newsroom grind. Gayle kicked off her career as a production assistant in Baltimore, where a little meeting with Oprah Winfrey sparked a legendary friendship. From there, she worked her way through Kansas City, then Hartford, becoming a household name at WFSB, where she anchored for 18 years.
So it's very exciting to have her 100
She believes sometimes the right question will lead to a very interesting answer.
By the time she landed on CBS's This Morning in 2011, Gayle had mastered the art of the no-nonsense interview with a side of warmth. From grilling R. Kelly to bonding with Michelle Obama, she's brought Emmy-winning depth and DuPont Columbia prestige to morning TV. Oh, and in her spare time, she co-hosts King Charles with Charles Barkley. Yes, she multitasks in legend mode. Off camera, Gayle's just as real. Married to William Bumpus, she is the proud mom of Kirby and Will and a beaming grandma to Luca. She keeps family at the center of her orbit. From newsroom floors to zero gravity, Gayle King proves curiosity and courage never go out of style. Number 7. Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris has never shied away from firsts, and she's racked up quite a few. As the 49th Vice President of the United States, she made history as the first woman, the first Black American, and the first South Asian American to hold the office. In 2024, following President Biden's exit from the race, Harris stepped in as the Democratic nominee. Though ultimately defeated by Donald Trump, her rise to the top of American politics cemented her legacy. Before she was making global headlines, Kamala served justice in California as San Francisco's district attorney.
And with hope
Because when we fight, we win.
And then the state's attorney general. She walked the line between progressive reform and tough-on-crime grit. By the time she hit the U.S. Senate in 2016, she was ready to take on anyone. Just ask the folks she grilled in committee hearings. Those viral clips? Instant classics. Kamala's rise is rooted in deep purpose. Born to a Jamaican father and Indian mother, she grew up with a dual heritage and a fire for fairness. Her mother's words still guide her. You may be the first, but make sure you're not the last. And with her memoir, The Truths We Hold, she shared the soul behind the sound bites. Off the campaign trail, Kamala's got her own love story. She met attorney Doug Emhoff on a blind date set up by a mutual friend and married him in 2014. Now, she's Momala to his 2 kids, Ella and Cole, a modern blended political fam that keeps it real. Kamala Harris didn't just break barriers, she built new paths, and she did it with a laugh, a legacy, and some serious chucks on her feet. Number 6, Angelique Kidjo. Angelique Kidjo is a force of nature in the global music scene, a 5-time Grammy Award-winning artist whose voice resonates across continents. With 16 albums under her belt, Kidjo has become a beacon of African music. She blends her native West African rhythms with American R&B, funk, jazz, and global influences. Time magazine calls her Africa's premier diva, and in 2021, she was named one of the 100 most influential people in the world. If you've ever heard her music, you know her style is electrifying with a fusion of culture. In fact, Kidjo's groundbreaking work has redefined global music. Her career is marked by milestones such as sold-out concerts at iconic venues like Carnegie Hall, collaborations with orchestras around the world, and a historic performance at the reopening of Paris's Notre Dame Cathedral. She's also a tireless advocate for children's education and women's empowerment, serving as a UNICEF and Oxfam ambassador. But that's not all. She also spearheads the AFAWA initiative to support women entrepreneurs in Africa. A true visionary, Kidjo uses her art and platform to spark social change, making her one of the most important voices in music and activism today.
Everywhere I've been, that philosophy of music.
Her love story is also centered around music. Kidjo met her husband, Jean Hebrel, while studying music at CIM, a jazz school in Paris. Hebrel is a musician and producer, perfectly complementing her skills. They have a child, Naima Hebrel Kidjo. Beyond family, Kidjo continues to leave an indelible mark on the world, whether through her Grammy-winning albums, philanthropic work, or stunning live performances. If you've stayed up till this point, then you sure love what you see and hear. How about you give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on our next big reveal. It promises to be exciting. Number 5, Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama's popularity didn't end after her husband Barack Obama vacated the presidential seat. She is still as relevant. Born Michelle LaVaughn Robinson, she was raised by parents who taught her the values of hard work, education, and humility. Her father, despite battling multiple sclerosis, never missed a day of work, and her mother kept the family grounded. Those early lessons fueled Michelle's unwavering sense of purpose.
If you come and knock on our door, we've been waiting for you.
A Princeton and Harvard law grad, Michelle was making waves at Sidley Austin Law Firm when she met a rising star named Barack Obama. Though she was skeptical at first, their chemistry was undeniable. Their first date? A Spike Lee classic, Do the Right Thing. And the rest is history. Married in 1992, the couple went through both joy and heartbreak on their journey to parenthood, with IVF helping them welcome daughters Malia and Sasha. As Barack rose in politics, Michelle wore many hats: mother, career woman, and First Lady. She redefined what it meant to hold that office, advocating for education, healthy living, and military families while raising 2 daughters under a global microscope. And don't forget, her mom, Marion Robinson, moved into the White House to help keep everything grounded.
Who don't have that peace of mind or security when something goes wrong, that's the first thing you think about. That's the fight.
Post-White House, Michelle's still shining. Her memoir, Becoming, became a global sensation, and she's continued to inspire with podcasts, Netflix shows, and her latest book, The Light We Carry. Together with Barack, she co-founded Higher Ground Productions, creating stories that uplift, teach, and celebrate. Michelle proves that true strength is rooted in family, authenticity, and lifting others as you rise. Number 4, Beyoncé. Beyoncé doesn't just make music, she builds worlds. From the pews of a Houston church to the stage of global stadiums, she's not just a superstar, she's a force of reinvention and quiet revolution. She started out as a child prodigy with the poise of a lion.
What a crowd, what a crowd.
Breaking out as the heart of Destiny's Child, which remains a global sensation even after their disbandment. Beyoncé shunned Brighter when she went solo. It was like an evolution. With albums like Dangerously in Love, 4, Lemonade, and Renaissance, her music not only topped charts, they redefined pop music. With visuals that stunned and lyrics that bled with emotion, every release became an era. In 2024, Cowboy Carter snagged Album of the Year, a long-awaited win for her. But Beyoncé is more than just her music. She's a mogul. Through Bay Good, she's funded housing, education, and economic justice. She headlined Coachella as the first black woman to do so, celebrated HBCUs, and directed her own film, Homecoming. With Parkwood Entertainment and her hair care line Sacred, she's building empires that honor culture, legacy, and the hustle. Married to another mogul, Jay-Z, and mother of 3, Beyoncé wears vulnerability like armor. Her art dives into miscarriage, infidelity, ancestry, and rebirth. Sometimes all in one verse. Her voice is both weapon and whisper, commanding the stage and every moment she occupies. Beyoncé isn't chasing a legacy. She's living it in fluidity, fearlessly, and on her own frequency. It's no wonder she leads her beehive with so much power as the true Queen Bey. Number 3, Serena Williams. Power, grit, grace. That's Serena Williams. With 23 Grand Slam singles titles under her belt, the most in the Open era, Serena didn't just dominate tennis.
Let's not boo anymore. We're gonna get through this, and let's be positive. So
she redefined it. On courts long ruled by tradition, she brought thunder with every serve and poise with every comeback. But Serena's impact stretches far beyond the white lines of the court. She's a mother who trained between breastfeeding sessions, a woman who faced near death during childbirth and lived to tell the story. She now advocates fiercely for maternal health care and urges women to speak up in medical spaces. Her vulnerability gave strength to millions, proving that even the strongest champions battle self-doubt and postpartum depression. She and her sister Venus kicked down the doors of a sport once dominated by whiteness. Braids swinging, they showed up, and little girls around the world saw what was possible. Serena is one to give back to the society. She funded schools in Africa and Jamaica, founded the Yatoon Price Resource Center in honor of her late sister, and launched Serena Ventures to back women and minority-led startups. And don't get it twisted, Serena is as much about fashion as forehands. From catsuits to tutus, she brought boldness and flair to center court, challenging gender norms with every swing. When it comes to business, Serena doesn't shy away either.
my office is always extremely messy because I have so much stuff, and I realize that
She owns several unicorns and has dipped her hand in real estate. It's no wonder she's married to Alexis Ohanian, co-founder of Reddit, who fully supports his wife, even babysitting. They currently have 2 girls, Alexis and Olympia. Number 2, Precious Moloi Motsepe. Precious Moloi Motsepe is a trailblazer in both fashion and philanthropy, known for her transformative impact on African creative industries and her dedication to social empowerment. As the founder and executive chair of African Fashion International, she has catapulted African designers onto the global stage. In fact, she has elevated the continent's fashion industry through high-profile events in cities like Johannesburg, Cape Town, and Abu Dhabi. Her vision for AFI extends beyond fashion. It creates pathways for youth and women's economic independence, aligning with her broader commitment to social change. Moloi Motsepe was born in Soweto and is a trained medical doctor specializing in women's and children's health. She co-founded the Motsepe Foundation in 1999 with her husband, Patrice Motsepe. Both couples share a child, Thlopi Motsepe.
Will now lead Africa's football governing body for another term which will end in 2029.
And together they became the first couple from Africa to join the Giving Pledge. Their foundation has since focused on improving the lives of marginalized communities through programs in education, gender equality, and economic empowerment. Her leadership extends to roles such as Chancellor of the University of Cape Town and co-chair of the Maverick Collective, a global women's philanthropy initiative. A passionate advocate for African creativity and sustainable development, she was awarded the Franca Sodzani Award in 2017 for her efforts to champion African designers and empower disadvantaged women. Moloi Motsepe's influence extends across sectors from fashion and arts to sports and music, where she has used her platform to sponsor initiatives that uplift young talent and champion gender equality. Number 1, Viola Davis. Viola Davis is a voice to reckon with. She doesn't just act, she commands. Born on August 11, 1965, in St. Matthews, South Carolina, she rose from a childhood marked by poverty to claim a seat at Hollywood's most exclusive table.
They don't know anything, and they're not trying to know anything.
EGOT status. That's right, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. In 2025, she added the Cecil B. DeMille Award to her crown, royal behavior only. But Viola's greatness isn't confined to the screen. She's a fierce force for good. Drawing from her own experiences with food insecurity, she's been a face and voice for the Hunger Is campaign since 2014. In 2017, she launched the 30K in 30 Days project, funding food banks across Rhode Island like the hometown hero she is. And with the Vaseline Healing Project, she's helped bring dermatological care to underserved communities around the globe. At home, Viola keeps it real. She married actor Julius Tenen in 2003, and together, they've built a beautiful blended family with their daughter Genesis and Tenen's 2 children. Between their LA home and Rhode Island getaway, Davis manages to keep the spotlight at bay when she wants to. Grounded, private, powerful. With a net worth of around $25 million, Viola could easily rest on her laurels. Instead, she reinvests in humanity, proving that her legacy isn't just about awards, it's about impact. And this isn't the finishing point for Viola Davis, she's just hitting the road.
Of that character, that they don't want to see anything mar the image.
There you have it. These popular women are proof that Black women are basking in the limelight, and they are not just there as gimmicks. They are leaving their mark, smashing records, and recreating them. They're anything but invisible. But if you think popularity is all Black wives have, you're all but wrong. Some Black wives hold so much wealth, and the figures of their net worth will blow your mind. Do you want to know who these women are? Check out our video on Inside the Lives of the Richest Black Wives.